Fantastic day to one and all. Thank you for tuning in and taking the time. This particular episode is for parents. I watched a bit on television and inspired me to reach out to the parents of the world and give some advice because I am a parent. I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a great grandfather. Been around the block once or twice, met the most successful people and the poorest people, and I'm going to talk all about parenting today. You know, as a parent, we're complete amateurs because we've never done it before. And your parents were amateurs, and their parents' were amateurs. And we try to do the best we can. We love our kids, but we make a lot of mistakes. And I'm going to talk about the mistakes that I know about that you could try to avoid because you could read every book on the planet and still make mistakes. One of my sayings is after 6 kids, you make less mistakes, not no mistakes, less mistakes and different mistakes. And it's because every kid's different as well. But the most thing I want to impress upon parenting is one is to stay in control because too many parents give into a yelling and a screaming and a tantrum. And once you do it for the first time, kids are really smart because they're you and they're your grandparents, or their grandparents and your grandparents. And once you give into them, they got control and they take control and you never get it back. It's very, very difficult to get back. So one is to stay in control because you are the parent, you're the boss. And so that's one of the things that's really, really important. And I see kids just controlling their parents. Like they play them like puppets. I think the most important thing is not to spoil them. We love our children, of course, we love our children. And we think spoiling them is doing something right for them. And I'm going to state some examples. If you spoil a kid, and there's a lot of rich people out there, let me talk about the rich people, a lot of rich people out there. And their children typically are what's called trust fund kids because they don't have to work a day in their life. They get a gold credit card, they go out and they blow it. They just spend money like it doesn't count because they didn't earn it and it's free. And their parents think they're compensating because when you're really rich, you're not there a lot because you're working. One of my sayings, if you've been following my show for 5 or 6 years, I have lots of sayings. And one of them, in jest, but in truth, is to the man of the house and sometimes the woman of the house. Sometimes she makes more money. My wife made more money than me at times. And the saying is, if you make too much money, I'll use the male point of view, your wife is going to divorce you and your kids are going to hate you because you weren't there for them. Your wife married you for you, typically not for your money. And your kids are your kids. They want you to see them at the baseball game, at the play, at the ballet recital, the piano recital. They want you to be there because you're their dad. And so when you want to make a whole lot of money, you have to work and you have to travel and you have to just not be there. Conversely, if you don't make enough money, your wife will divorce you and your kids will hate you because you didn't give them what they want. So there's a middle ground. I always tell people if you want to make a lot of money, wait till the kids are grown. They're only going to be there 20 years. Then go out and work like a dog. So that's a little bit of advice for the rich. Elton John, I just saw a thing on Elton John, and I know that Gates and a lot of the um, hugely rich people and the smart ones and the super billionaires are not giving all their money to their kids. They're giving it to charity. By the way, my charity is the Foundation for World Harmony. But they're giving their kids enough money to be comfortable. I have a friend who's not wealthy. He made some good money as a pilot and he had a good career. And he has a trust fund for his kid. And it's laid out for the kid. She has to go to college. Here's the colleges she has to go to. And then the money's distributed to her at 18, some at 21, some at 25, some at 30. You know, that's logical because you give someone a lot of money and they blow it. A good example is the lottery. In America, they have a thing called the lottery. And when they first started, and it's still true to this day, 70% of people who won it regret it. But when it first started, you won $1 million, and now you think you're a millionaire. Well, and you start spending money like crazy. You max out your credit cards because you just won $1 million. You're so happy. Well, They paid it out in 20-year installments, which is $50,000 a year. After taxes, it's $25,000 a year, which is around $2,000 a month. I don't know anyone who thinks they're a millionaire when they're making $2,000 a month. You can't live in Los Angeles on $2,000 a month. So people are miserable. And when you have a lot of money, you have, and I had a lot of money, you have fake friends, and and you get to buy nice shiny things. I bought a lot of nice shiny things, big houses, fancy cars, a big yacht, and I had lots of friends. Boy, they loved being on my yacht. They loved eating my food, my wife's gourmet cooking, and my booze. And it was fun. I had a fantastic time. I don't ever look in the past. I'd like to think about the past sometimes, not much, because the past is the past. I'm a philosopher. The past has, if it didn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And you can't live on things that were fantastic in the past if you don't have them today. And you certainly shouldn't kill yourself, like poor Amy Whitehouse did. Poor thing. You got hooked on fame and fortune is something you don't want to wish on anybody. Fortune, again, let's get back to the money. Trust fund kids they usually turn out to be drug addicts. Very few that I've ever heard of are solid citizens. That's for damn sure. Money it can really mess you up. It can really mess you up. So parenting. What can I say about it? See, these are shows, as you know, are unscripted, unrehearsed, unrealistic, unbelievable. You might say that. Love your kids completely. What's the word I'm looking for? Unabashedly. I don't know. But don't spoil them. These super billionaires are giving all their money to charity. 99%, I'm heard. That's fantastic. I'm sure they worked hard for the money, but when you want to do good, when you want to be kind, that's the secret to happiness. Elton John was a drug addict, and he did every drug in the book, and he was crazy partier, party like a rock star. I think that's where the saying came from. And now he's clean and sober, and he's a great humanitarian, and he's cleaned up his act. Do we all make mistakes? We all make mistakes. But at one point in your life, you got to realize that you're living for you, because you, whoever's listening right now, are the most important person in the world. Because if you're not alive, you're not of use to anyone. Amy Whitehouse is not of use to anyone. There's a lot of people that die. Everybody dies. Well, I had 3 sets of parents that died. And I'm getting a call. I don't want to talk right now. I'm going to have to decline. Who is that? Yeah, it'll have to wait. Because you're more important. Any rate, so I'm hoping that this advice is going to sit well with you. There's a lot of advice on my podcast, The Complete Guide to Happiness. Lots of great advice. I've interviewed over 40 of my ambassadors of kindness. I've started a new podcast called the Global Kindness Federation, where I'm interviewing people, of course, ambassadors that have plans, initiatives, NGOs, things that are going to help humanity, because that's what I'm trying to do: save humanity from the insanity of humanity, save the planet. And so then of course, my Belize show was on life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. That was a TV show I hosted in Belize. My radio show in Los Angeles was a year long, and it was all about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. Because we're on this planet to be happy, and you want your children to be happy. Make them wash the dishes. Don't ask them to do the dishes. Tell them that you love them every day. That's important. And you should sit down for dinner every single night. I find it hard to believe that there's a criminal out there or a murderer out there that got love from their parents, that sat down every night with their parents, put the toys away, put the games away, put the phones away. Talk to your kids. Treat them like adults. I always treated kids like adults, because they're really smart. They're like sponges when they're children, and it gets worse and worse as they get older. But being a parent is really rewarding. It's really fantastic. I don't know what it's like to be a grandparent, because I didn't have grandparents, and so I've been traveling for the last 5 years. So I'm not a grandparent, so to speak, in person. And love, I hope they know that I love them. I gave my kids the best upbringing someone could ever get. And they turned out very, very well. I'm very, very proud of that. I always say, when I grow up, I want to be just like my sons. They're fantastic. So I was a fantastic parent. Wasn't the best husband, we're not perfect. I'm never gonna say I'm perfect, because I'm not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes. Um, um, I made mistakes. We all make mistakes. But I've never been afraid to fail, because fail is just first attempt in learning. I've always had the courage to say yes. When I said yes to 20th Century Fox, I made millions of dollars. Did I know how to do Portuguese dubbing at the time? No. But I said with confidence, of course I could do Portuguese dubbing. And I made millions of dollars. Be confident to say yes, because typically they tell you what they're going to do anyway at the job or whatever. They typically tell you. And in college, I'm starting a new university. It's called the International Kindness University online. And because we have so many fantastic professors, teachers, um, NGOs, universities that are in this group of 15,700 as of today, which is the 22nd of January 2026. If you're listening to this 10 years from now, it's been a fantastic year for me, for the organization, for the Foundation for World Harmony, for the Kindness Revolution, for the Global Kindness Federation. It's just working well, working fantastic. People are hearing about it, and being kind doesn't detract from your day, doesn't detract from your job, doesn't detract from your dreams or anything. It aligns with it. Kindness aligns with it. The 3 commitments to kindness are bulletproof. Science, hundreds of thousands of people agree. Well, there are only 15,700 ambassadors, but hundreds of thousands of people have agreed that kindness is what counts. Being kind to yourself, the hardest, most important commitment. Being kind to all others. It stops the wars, the violence, the lying, the stealing, the cheating, the bullying, the raping, of course, the killing. Every 52 minutes, there's a murder. The bigotry, the prejudice, the slavery, all the horrible things that man has done, not just today, throughout the ages. And then being kind to Mother Earth. We got to stop littering. 4.7 trillion cigarette butts get thrown on the ground each year. It's travesty. I don't know if you've watched any documentaries on trash, but the planet is a trash heap. We've polluted our streams, our rivers, our lakes, our oceans, our seas, our atmosphere, our lands, and now outer space. It's a junk field out there, and it's dangerous. It's falling on people's heads because we're only thinking about today and making a buck today. You got to think about the future. Not worry about the future. 70% of people are depressed because they're thinking about the shit that happened in the past, or they're thinking about the shit that's going to happen the negative shit that's going to happen in the future. The past is gone. Yesterday's history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is the present. That's why they call it a gift. No, it's reverse that. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. I don't always get my lines right. Come on. I'm happy to remember half of what I've been saying over the last 5 years. If I repeat everything I've been saying, you're going to be watching this for a whole very, very long time. But I would appreciate it if you tell me where you are, who you are, and if you liked what you saw. And if you do, hit a like and subscribe. This isn't a money-making channel. It's never going to. A lot of people say, oh, you must be making a fortune on your YouTube. What are you talking about? 10 people watch it. Because most of the people who are ambassadors of kindness are successful, and they don't have time to watch me. Once you hear me once, you don't have to hear me 20 times. Some people might have to be reminded, because you need to be reminded how important the word fantastic is. It makes you smile, which releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, and the smile makes you look and feel fantastic. But those neuromessenger units release stress, anxiety, and depression. I have a program here called the Hospital Anti-SAD program. SAD, acronym, stress, anxiety, depression. I made that up. You can coin me on that. You can coin me on the insanity of humanity. You can coin me on everything I say. And you can steal everything I've said. Please steal it, but share it. It's open source. What I'm telling everyone is open source. Open source means anyone could use it. I want everyone to use Fantastic. There's a beach named after Fantastic now, after they met me. People hearing what I have to say, if you intently focus on it and look at our 4 or 5 websites and all our social media, it changes lives, and it's changing lives and has changed lives. And I'm happy for that. I'm not making any money from this, and I don't want to make money from this. This is my gift to you. Like a couple other things, Global SKU, that's a gift to me from, well, my billionaire friend, but through him, I'm giving it to you. So text me if you want to make money with your cell phone. And then we're going to have the NOU network, which is going to have you're going to have your own network, not just streaming channel like NBC, your own network for $2.99, and you get to keep 90% of all the revenue. You could do a QVC program selling stuff. You could do podcasts. You could do shows. You could juggle. You could do whatever you want to do, but mostly promote your cause. Hopefully, promote your NGO, promote your charity, promote your invention, promote yourself. So it's powered by Amazon, and it's going to be fantastic. I've got some great news to report soon. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. Typically, I do because I have no patience. I want to just tell everyone what's going on, but sometimes you can't, and I understand that. You know, I'm starting to understand a few things that I never did before because I've been ripped off like no one else has been ripped off. People have stolen the biggest projects on the planet from me, and that's okay. I have the confidence knowing that it was my idea. I didn't make the money from it, but that's life. I don't need money. I truly don't need money. I mean, I need money to eat and have a roof over my head, but I don't need a big bank account anymore. When I got divorced 5 years ago, I gave my wife every single penny because she put up with me for 30 years. She deserved it. She would always say that when she dies, she's going to go straight to heaven because she put up with me. And you know, I'm not a normal person. My wife would say I'm from a different planet because I don't think like normal people. What is normal? And my last girlfriend, rest her soul, she died recently. She said I'm from the planet Pleiades. I don't know. But I do have some very strong beliefs. I'm a humanologist, and I'm going to teach humanology. It's kind of a mix between psychology and anthropology and geology and all the ologies, because we're all human. We're all one. We're all one in the universe. 2026 root number is 1. This is year 1 of the kindness revolution. And I'm glad you're part of it. I'm glad you listened to me this long. If you did, give me a heart, and share it. Sharing is caring. Caring is kindness. Kindness leads to happiness. And so that's enough for one day. I think hopefully you were drinking coffee or a cocktail while listening to me. And I'm very happy to have made so many people happy. It's really a blessing to share what I've learned and the mistakes I've made. And I'm going to make more mistakes, you know. And whatever you do in life, you're going to have detractors. Someone a few months ago said I was a con. No, what do you say? It was a scammer? No, spammer? No, what is it? Oh, well, it wasn't a good thing. No, I think it was, what the hell did he say it was? Well, it wasn't good. What the hell did he say it was? I can't even think right now. But anyway, how did he say? I can't think of it. Sometimes you just draw a blank. But the essence was I'm taking advantage of people. How am I taking advantage of people? I don't ask for money, never asked for money, haven't gotten any money. This is my gift. How can it be a con or a scam or a trick or a ploy? It's not. When I was in Egypt, the police thought I was a spy. They followed me everywhere because I was giving out pamphlets on kindness and not asking for money. They couldn't get it into their heads that the guy's giving instead of asking or taking. They just couldn't get it in their head. And a lot of poor people will say, when they hear about this organization, they'll say, what's in it for me? And I have some great videos on the answer to that, and I can go on for 20 minutes, the answers to that. But I want to hear from you, people that say, how can I help? Today, I mean, just recently, a guy came in and wanted to be our director in Spain. You know, we've got 148 countries, about 25 strong country directors, a lot state, district, province, and regional directors, a lot of admin, a lot of ambassadors, and a lot of members that aren't ambassadors yet. And it's slowly going. It's it's we're building a pyramid. We're not building a skyscraper, and we've got a fantastic base of incredible human beings, the richest, the poorest, the smartest, a couple dumb ones, but they're trying. And as a community, as a global community, united in one sentiment: be kind. Be kind to yourself, others, and the planet. Can't say much more than that. And be a good parent. Be a fantastic parent. Don't spoil your kids. Don't give them everything they ask for. Let them earn. Let them work. Let them, because they're going to be happy. They're going to be happier for that. You know. Sometimes I spoil my kids with gifts and love, but anyway, we all make mistakes. But I've learned from a lot of people. There's a lot of Denzel Washington, rich as he is, his kids go to a regular school. They don't go to a private school. They do chores. They're earning their keep, like in the old days when you had 10 kids and they all tended the farm. Life's fantastic. I hope you're having a fantastic 2026, as I certainly am. It every day gets better this year so far. It's really been unbelievable. The kind of people that are coming out of the woodwork, the kind of people that have been ambassadors for years and just starting to understand how powerful this philosophy is. Um, and if you need my resume, I can send you my resume. You can Google me all day long. I've got a track record in hundreds of different fields, not hundreds. There I go exaggerating. 102 different fields. Clean as a whistle. Never been arrested. Um, Not that I haven't broken the law, of course. I was young. I was stupid. We all break the law at times. But, what my foster father used to say, it's not against the law to break the law. It's against the law to get caught. Something like that. He was a terrible foster father. What can I tell you? He was terrible foster father. I had the worst childhood you could imagine, but I'm still kicking. 71 years old. It's hard to say that number because I feel 30. And I'm singing and dancing. I'm going to sing and dance to the grave. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. Again, share it. Share what you know. And we're going to and be part of the university. We're looking for teachers. We're looking for educators. We're looking for universities to have associations with. So in our umbrella, we'll have many universities that you can come through and maybe even get a discount because you're an ambassador of kindness. You can go to the university not through us, probably be more expensive. Stay tuned because we're going to have some fantastic news soon. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching.